Sharp Game here. Welcome to another episode coming at you from ChooseYourRelationships.com. And today, you know what? I'm gonna talk about how do you deal with insecure people? I mean, how do you be in a relationship with somebody that's jealous, insecure? She she blows up your phone. She calls you all the time. She asks childish questions. I mean, how do you deal with that? I mean, maybe she gets on your nerves. It could be a guy as well, but I'm talking from the I'm looking at it from the male perspective today. How do you deal with women like that? What do you do? Do you just break it off and go to the next chick? What do you do? That's what I want to talk about. I'm gonna tell you how I deal with things today. Back in the day, I used to just roll out, go to the next chick, go to next woman, and keep it moving. But today, I like to think that I'm a little bit smarter than I was 20 years ago. But the first thing you have to do in any relationship really is you have to be yourself. Now, if somebody doesn't respect you for being yourself or can't, I guess, take you as you are, well, how do you know they're going to accept you for being somebody else? Because you can try to accommodate them and become somebody else or play the role, but that might not work. And when that doesn't work, then what you're gonna do? So it's just good to it's very less stressful, number one, and it saves a lot of time, number two, to just be yourself, because no one can beat you at being yourself. So that's what I do today. And everybody you meet, every woman that you meet is gonna have something wrong with them. That's just reality. Everyone has issues. Some people might even have baggage. If you meet an older woman, she might have baggage. If you meet a younger woman, she might have issues. But everyone's coming in with something. No one's perfect. There's no Prince Charming. That doesn't exist. So you just gotta be aware of that. And when it comes to relationships, in most cases, you're probably better off working out the differences amongst each other. If you've been together for a long time, you're better off working out the problems, because if you go get another woman, you're going to have a new set of problems. So, in my opinion, you're better off working out your differences between each other. In most cases. Now, I know circumstances can be different, and I know all relationships aren't created equal, but you're just going to have to really weigh the pros against the cons and see where you want things to go. So nobody's perfect. And there's something else that my parents used to do that is not happening today is you have to eat together. People don't do that very much today. We We live in such a fast-paced world, and people don't really cherish the moments that they used to. People, if you eat together, you probably sleep together. Go figure, you know. So people don't, people like eating out. They like fast food. They like everything instant gratification. But there's no, I haven't found a meal that's better outside my home. I just haven't found it. Now, there's some places that restaurants cook good food, but it's nothing like a home cooked meal. And when you're eating together at the table with your wife, your kids, your girlfriend, your friends, your family, there's a bond that's being created, even if you're not aware of it. Because you'd be surprised the conversations that you can come up with while you're sitting down at the table with your friends, your family, your kids, the people that you care about, the people that matter in your life, the people that really matter in your life. You should sit down and eat with them, even if it's at a restaurant. But mainly eating at home it should be the foundation. That's where it really starts at. So that's worked out for me a lot over the past couple years. And you have to appreciate people, the people that you have around you. You shouldn't take things for granted. And you have to show them. You have to show and prove. You have to have empathy for people. It's not enough to say, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry for your family's death in the family," or "I'm sorry that things didn't go your way." No, that ain't enough. You got to show them that you appreciate them. You got to show them that you have empathy for them. If a kid falls down on the ground, you got to get on the ground with them. It's not enough to just pat them on the head, say, "Oh, poor little fella." No, that's not enough anymore. You gotta be there with them. You gotta put yourself in their shoes, put yourself in their skin. You gotta become them. And I'm not saying that's gonna happen overnight. It might take a while for you to get there, because we live in a fast-paced world where a lot of people are so selfish. They can't relate to anybody. They're just thinking about themselves 24/7, and this is why a lot of people have such a hard time getting along, because they don't really have empathy for people. They don't really appreciate people. They don't have compassion for people. But it's an ongoing process, and you got to work at it. And I know I had to work at it, because in relationships, and even in your friendships, you get what you are. You don't get what you want. I'm going to say that again. You get what you are. You don't get what you want. And if I go back to my teenage years, and even through the military, and even up to now, people that I'm the closest with are pretty much, we're alike in a lot of ways. We have a lot in common. Now, some of us might be smarter than others in other categories, but at the core of who we are, we're pretty much damn near the same. We see the same shit. We're always on the same page. We always support each other. And that's how that is. You get what you are, not what you want. That's how it is. It's always been like that. That's universal. And when it comes to, being in a relationship with somebody, a lot of people act like they own somebody. They're like, you my woman, you my man, you my son, you my daughter, that's my girl. You know, you don't really own anybody. You know, you don't really. I mean, if you have a kid, your baby came through you. You know, you're just a door to giving birth. You don't own your daughter. You don't own your girl or your wife. You don't own your man. They're free to do what they want to do if you're in a relationship with them. You know, a lot of people have this, they're like possessive. They're like, you know, they're not going anywhere. It's just not like that. That's the closest thing to being in prison. You know, I think out of the past, I would say the past 15 years, all the relationships I've been in, I never really was the jealous type. You know, I never really had time to be jealous because I'm always working on different projects, and I'm always traveling or, you know, always meeting different people and always having different ideas, and I'm always working, so I never really have time to be jealous. And if I have to be jealous with a woman that I'm with, I have to let her go because I don't really have time for all that. I don't really have time to keep pages on you and check your cell phone and call you 3-4 times a day. I don't really have time for all that. So I like to live free. That's how I live. I like to live free. I want to be free to go anywhere I want, when I want, and how I want. And when she's ready to leave and go hang with her friends, she can go ahead. Just be safe. You know, I don't want to be restricted. I don't want to have handcuffs and shackles on my wrists and on my ankles. You know, that feels like being in prison. That kind of feels like being in the Navy like I used to be. They got all these, it's too many rules. I mean, you know, I just don't like it. I like to be free. I like to be able to get in my car, get on the plane, get on the bus, get on the train, and just go where I want to go. And come back when I'm ready to come back. You know, I'm coming back home. If I'm with a woman, I'm coming back home to you. You know, you don't have to act like, you know, you don't have to get nervous. You know, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do, where I'm going, and how to reach me. And I'll call you when I get there to make sure I'm safe and everything. But I don't want to be tied down. I don't want to have shackles on my arm and wrist. I don't want you to tell me when I'm supposed to leave and what time I'm supposed to come back. And I can't hang out with my friends because today's Sunday. I can't live like that. I gotta be. If I'm in a relationship, I have to feel like I'm free. I have to feel like, you know, that we can build something together and be together all at the same time. If there's some type of friction going on or there's some tension all the time, I can't live like that. You know, I know a lot of married guys that's like that. They can't come outside. They can't answer the cell phone. They can text you, and then you might call them, and they might not call you back for weeks, sometimes even months later. And by the time they call you back, you forgot you even called them. You know, I can't live like that. You know, I'm sorry, but I gotta be free. I don't own no woman, and she doesn't own me. So that's my philosophy. That's how I see that. And like I said, you have to appreciate people, and you have to show people how much you appreciate them. It's not enough to just talk. You got to talk. When you talk, if you're gonna talk, you got to walk the walk. You know, it's like a lot of people will say, oh, you know, they'll throw the L word around. Oh, I love you. You know, I It's nice seeing you, and they'll go on and rambling, talking about how it's so nice to see them. They haven't seen them in a long time. But you know what? That's not enough anymore. Everybody's doing that. You gotta go above and beyond the call of duty if you want to really show people how much you appreciate them. You know, it's just talking about it. It's kind of watered down. It's kind of lame today because everybody, especially in America, everybody can talk a good game. You know, but most people can't deliver. You know, like some people will say, "Oh, you know, I love you," but their words doesn't equate to their actions because they say one thing, but they treat the person like garbage, or they say one thing, but they treat you kind of like subpar, or kind of not like in the way you would treat somebody else or treat them. But when their friends come around, they go above and beyond the call of duty with their friends. When their friends come around, they roll out the red carpet for them. But the person that they love, which is you, they don't roll out the red carpet for you. They just open the door. You know, and a lot of people have like different personalities, and some people will have 2, 3 faces. They two-faced. You know, sometimes 3 faces. Sometimes they act this way in front of the parents. They act this way in front of you. They act this way in front of the friends. They act this way in front of the co-workers. So they have different faces, different facets of their lives. But they say they love you, but you get the least amount of appreciation. So the words don't equate. And a wise man once told me a long time ago, he said, don't get caught up into what people say, watch their feet. Because he said, where their feet goes is where most of their focus and the things that they care about the most goes. That's what a wise man told me years ago, you know. And another thing is you gotta be honest. Honest with who? You gotta be honest with yourself. Because the person that you can really, the person that you should be honest with more than anybody else is your damn self. Because, you know, you have to live for you. You really don't being honest with somebody else is secondary. You have to be honest with yourself first. If you can't be honest with yourself, it's almost impossible to be honest with anybody else because you're going to feel like an imposter. You're going to feel like you're not good enough. You're not worthy. You're not up to par. You can't do it. So be honest with yourself first, then other people come next. And another thing you have to always keep in mind, and I'm a work in progress, just like you're a work in progress. No one's perfect. You know, I get better. I try to get better every day, every week, every month, every quarter, every 6 months, every year. You know, we're all a work in progress. No one's perfect. You know, we're trying to figure this thing out just like everybody else is trying to figure this thing out. You know, I know most people aren't really progressive people, but if you like to do things big, if you really want to live an above average life, you have to always be trying to get better as a man, as a woman. You know, there's no shortcuts. There's no get rich quick. There's no There's no easy way. I wish it was the easy way. I'm still looking for the easy way. If you find the easy way, email me at mastermindsecrets@gmail.com if you find the easy way. I haven't found the easy way yet. But if you do, let me know. And you have to always, if you're in a relationship, sometimes you can do things to help your woman not be so insecure. Sometimes you have to trust her and remind her that she's good enough. You have to actually speak it, because women, they love words, so you have to say it all the time. Now, you don't have to keep repeating the same phrases over and over, but you can say the same thing but in a different way. So you have to make her feel less secure and remind her that she can trust herself. Remind her that she's with you. Y'all a couple. Y'all together, like Bonnie and Clyde. You know, you have to make her feel like she's the only one. You're not going anywhere. Y'all gonna be together through thick and thin, like Bonnie and Clyde, like Batman and Superwoman. And no relationship is perfect. There's no knight in shining armor. Stop reading the novels. That stuff is an illusion, you know. But you have to, at the end of the day, you have to always be moving forward, always progressing, always trying to get better on both sides, male and female. And you just have to work out your differences you may have within the relationship. And you have to be all in, and you have to be honest with yourself and be honest with each other. And you have to be yourself. And if you can't do those things that I just named and talked about in this video, it's going to be very difficult to have any relationship with anybody. And the grass is never greener on the other side, regardless of what you think, regardless of what you've seen on television, regardless of what your friends or your family might have told you. Because a lot of relationships in America have failed. Marriage has failed in this country. And no one likes to talk about it. But this country has failed when it comes to marriages. And a lot of people, males and females, don't even get along today. And that has a lot to do with it. And, so if you like what you heard, subscribe to my channel. Check out my blog, chooseyourrelationships.com. Until next time, Sharp Game is out. Peace.